Have you ever watched somebody fall so far from grace, it looked so clean that it was almost like choreography? Because that's what our movie that we're talking about today is. We're talking about Channing Tatum's Roof Man.
Yes.
It is Parallel Frequencies. I am just Blane. This is Coco, and you are the freaks. What's up, Coco?
Welcome.
We're at Land of 1,000 Hills again. We love it here.
Yeah.
We love Amber. Shout out to Amber. Haven't seen her in a while.
No,
But
hopefully
oh, you got that going down.
I do socializing with my witch friends.
I love that. What else you got going on this weekend?
I was invited to a pajama party. We'll see how that goes.
No, hold on
I don't know
now.
if I fit in with a pajama party crowd, but
What?
I don't know. That feels a little posh.
I would say it feels a little lazy, though. Like, I would go to a pajama party.
I picture this being like a champagne flutes kind of pajama party.
Oh.
Like,
is it with...
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City
Is it with
do,
Miss
something.
International? Okay. Never mind then. Yeah, that's gonna be a little posh.
I
It
think
is.
so. Which is why I said yes, because I'm like, I could use a little bit of leveling up.
Yeah, I mean, my idea of pajama party is like not leaving the house, putting a bunch of movies on, get some sleeping bags out. It's probably not going to be that.
With my kids,
Yeah.
that's probably normally what I would do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Which I like to just have some chill get-togethers. My tea and tarot nights are literally just that. I just bring out tea. I say, bring whatever you want to eat.
Yeah.
Wear whatever you want.
Lindsay will be over there.
Yeah.
She said she's
I
coming
can't
tonight.
wait.
And
I
she
can't
doesn't
wait
leave
to
the
hang out
house.
with her.
She doesn't even get out of the house. So
I know
for
we
you
have to
to
pull
have...
her out.
I haven't seen her in like 2 weeks myself. So you're going to get to see my wife. I haven't even seen her.
She likes me better.
We text each other every once in a while. It's about it. It's probably true. It is funny how me and you spend time together, and then you and her do.
I know.
And then me and her have
Do you
conversations.
compare notes?
No, we talk to each other. We find out what was going on, because it'll be like, oh, I was telling Courtney about this. And I'll be, oh, that's awesome. You did that today. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, we find out each other's days. Because we.
I'm like the conduit.
Yeah, I like
good.
that. We should have a nickname for you like that, the conduit.
Yeah. Time to go see Courtney.
I think the witch tag has outlived its purpose at this point. You are far more than that. You are a conduit.
Okay.
Daybreak's conduit.
Sure. I'll just go with it.
Do you know what I'm excited about? I'm in a good mood. Can you tell?
Yeah.
It's Coachella weekend again.
Mm-hmm.
Couchella. If you do it that way, which
Yeah.
I do, because
Sit
I'm
on
not
the
going
couch.
out there. I'm telling you, last weekend it looked like them people were on Arrakis in Dune.
Yeah.
Like, it was wild. The stuff that they had wrapped up. I love the drip, as they call it, though.
Yeah.
I do. I love
I
all
like
that.
nature, but I don't like being uncomfortable to that level. So,
And they're camping out there.
yeah. Good for you.
I had the opportunity to go quite a few times and just never did, because I was like, nah, man,
I'm good.
I'm not going down there for the weekend and then have to come back in here to Big Boy Studio on Monday morning covered in dirt, soot,
Yeah.
whatever else was
Yeah.
out there in that desert. I have been to Coachella, though, but just not the festival.
Right.
Indio, California. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful drive, too, if you're not going when Coachella's going on, because then you just literally, you could walk
Yeah.
faster than you could get there. But yeah,
Sounds nice.
it's a beautiful drive. Middle of nowhere, really. But I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Remember, Saturday night, 9 Inch Noise. I'm telling you, if you missed it last weekend, iconic.
Hop on.
And this will be the second weekend in a row to see it. So, but let's get to Feature Friday.
Feature Friday.
We got
Here we
Feature
are.
Friday. We are talking about the one with Channing Tatum, but not the Magic Mike Channing Tatum, not the step up, not the charming rogue with a wink. But he is handsome in this.
I mean,
it's,
always.
It's hard for him not to be, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
one of those.
Can he play a part where he's not handsome? I don't think that's possible.
Well, the difference in this role and some of his other roles is this one feels like it's a version of him that's standing on the edge, low-key, hoping nobody pulls him back. Because there's not much that's keeping him from just being this screen stealing, really. Because he does. Let's just say it. I mean, he steals every scene that he's in this movie.
Yeah.
And this isn't like a glow-up story. This is the peel back the layers and see what's underneath story. But this one's
yeah, I
also
got a
based on a
lot.
true story.
That is where I think he really shines, because the very end in the credits, and you have to, like, tell your streaming service to not skip the credits. I had to learn that, because there's more going on during the credits, but they like to, like, skip to the, they're like, and moving on, and you're like, hold on, I have more. Wait, there's more going on here. I want to see. You get to see the pictures of the real Jeffrey Manchester.
Okay.
The real Lee, the girlfriend that he has in a story played by Kirsten Dunst in this movie. You get to see the pictures of him and his family. You get to see kind of who the real guy was, and the comparison of, you know, how did Channing Tatum do? And I think he did excellent. He looks like a very charming guy.
Yeah.
And he played it like that.
I've never heard it. I mean,
very
here's
likable.
here's the thing about it. I've never heard anything bad about Channing Tatum in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard.
As a
I've heard he's a good dude. I heard he's gives back. He does all the right things.
Yeah.
And I love to see him get more roles. I like his movies. I'm a
love
fan
his
of his.
movies.
I'm a huge fan of his. And this one, he does differently than his other movies. I do think he is off the chain, per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've let him loose to see what he can do. And, you know, it's not loud and flashy. He's playing some dude who basically, it's like he almost held his breath his whole life. Like he knows something we don't, or maybe he thinks he does, because that's what this character, Jeffrey Winchester, is. Is he a bumbling idiot that just happens to fall into the
Some
right
success.
thing, the success?
Criminal success.
Criminal success. That's why I was looking for the right word, because right thing was not the right way to say it.
Successfully criminal?
Yeah, but he does.
That a thing, or is that an
But
oxymoron?
what do you think about that? Because he made some dumb ass mistakes. Like,
yeah, some of the choices when we were watching the movie, we were like, I mean, he's clearly brilliant, and the police officers who see what he's done, how he was arrested the first time for the robberies that he made, but then later escaping from prison, and the way that he does it, they're admitting he's a very intelligent human being. We're working with somebody who really knows his stuff. At the same time, he's got this like superhuman level ability to see these details and to plan these things out and to observe. And then the choices that he actually makes are like, really?
Is this like a idiot savant? Is that what the...
I don't even know if you could call it that. I'm not sure. But what threads both of those two sides together is his charm and likability. So really, you're not ever watching this movie, and I think, again, that's where Channing Tatum is playing this character just right, is you don't hate him, and you're not mad at him. And you're not like, this is an evil guy doing criminals, he should be in prison. You really genuinely feel bad that he has to go to prison, and that he did these things, and that he thought he had no other choice, and that there's this moral conundrum there. And everyone talking about this guy, the real Jeffrey, and in the movie, as the nicest guy they've ever met.
That'll get you far.
Idiot, savant,
You
I
always
don't know,
hear-
but the nicest guy they've ever met.
You always hear that kindness will get you further than most things, right?
And then it ends up being his downfall, because he could not just leave Lee and her girls without saying goodbye. At the end, again, spoilers if you haven't seen it, he does get arrested and he's in prison.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why people are watching this show at all if you haven't watched the movies we're talking about.
I know.
Unless you don't
I
want
always
to
have
see
that
them.
little touch of hesitation where I'm like, and this is where I'm going to say something.
Yeah, but let me talk about this movie from the 30,000 foot view, because the whole movie, it doesn't rush you. This movie's like stalking you. Slow burns, quiet rooms, moments where silence is louder than the actual dialogue itself. Have you ever sat in a room and you feel like something's about to go wrong, but you can't prove it? That's the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
The whole movie, you're sitting there on the edge. Like,
Yes.
what's going to happen?
Not a horror movie, but there were moments in the movie where I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And I was, almost covering my eyes because I just didn't want to see what might happen.
Exactly. And break down what this guy did in the movie and in real life, because he broke into like McDonald's, Burger King's, Walmart's.
Blockbuster. You guys remember
Blockbuster.
those? Remember Blockbuster? Yeah.
Toys R Us. Yeah.
He was really, mechanically minded. He had spent time in the Air Force, so he, part of the military, so he was just really capable. But he observed the patterns of workers in the places that he was staking out, and then he climbed through the roof, which is why it's called Roof Man, right? He would always come down from the roof, and then he was extremely polite to the workers, you need to get your coats on. You need to get your.
Takes
I'm
care
going to
of
put
them,
you in
yeah.
the freezer. Are you okay? Oh, you don't have a coat. He gave away his coat to one of the guys because he was like. So again, you're just seeing all this development of character.
Yeah, he does that in the movie. He makes sure that everybody's comfortable.
He's like, you don't have a coat?
Yeah, he's like making sure everybody.
Okay,
I
here's
love
my
it.
coat. And the guy, that's being interviewed on the news is like, he was actually really nice. He gave me his coat. So he was known for it. I mean, and he got away with it for a long time until he was caught and arrested and, of course, sent to prison for a sentence that was like going to be 45 years when you added up all the months that he had accumulated worth of damage. But again, you see his knowing that this means he's not going to see his daughter, that his ex-wife is saying, we're cutting the cord, we're not going to allow you to contact us, and he's devastated. I mean, you feel the love he has for his family, and that he mostly did this for them. He wasn't doing it just because he's like, I love Robin and I love money, I'm greedy. It was really like, this is the only way I can think or fathom to take care of my family. Which I'm going to get a little bit into poverty culture here in a second. Mm-hmm. We'll deviate from the movie just a smidge. But for now, I'll stick with the facts.
Now, as a viewer at home, though, like a character like a Jeffrey, played by Channing Tatum, we're watching this, and do you trust a character like this? Or do you feel like something's off the whole time, kind of knowing what's in store?
I mean, how he charmed everyone just enough and gave only enough details, and clearly, I mean, how he pulled this off is really incredible.
There are people like this, though.
And then to find out at the end, I mean, even Lee is like, I was mad at you at first, but I can't really stay mad at you. I see it now as an adventure because we had fun. And you kind of do see it that way. You're like, I would be devastated if this guy I trusted and brought into my life and my daughter's life ended up being a criminal on the run, and he's going to prison forever now. You'd be mad. You'd be hurt. You'd be like, my trust was broken. But he was also just such a genuine guy. How long can you be mad?
And I think the fact that he's only hurting corporations.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Robin Hood type situation. Yeah. He's robbing from the rich and giving to the poor.
They're not going to miss it.
They're not going to miss it.
Yeah.
But then again, he went to Toys R Us and stole a bunch of video games and sold them. And Toys R Us is out of business now. So was he the reason? I probably had some of those video games he sold. Because I used to buy mine off online, aftermarket and stuff like that. But there are actually people like this in real life who can. We've seen them. We've seen people like this who can get whatever they want, really. And it's charm or something. It's attractive.
Manipulate their way in.
Yeah, and it reminds me of another movie, Catch Me If You Can. Remember that one with Tom Hanks, Leo?
Yeah. And again, that movie is showing the history and past of the character who turns out to be a con man. That kind of serves my point, is that, we can say they did all these bad things. Obviously, these are morally or ethically wrong things to do, but it also kind of matters where the come from is. Mm-hmm. It matters where, Jeffrey, as opposed to somebody who is like maliciously greedy, feels like I can do this and get away with it. No one else matters but me. His friend Steve in the movie says, you got to have a cold heart. You don't have what it takes to be a criminal. You don't have that cold-hearted, cut people off, do what it takes, think of only yourself kind of way about you. And it ends up being his downfall because he couldn't just leave town. He probably could have. He probably could have made it. He would have gotten away with everything, probably, if he hadn't come back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is a little bit different vibe, a little bit different come from when you talk about, like, he's not malicious. Mostly he did this because he wanted to buy a bike for his daughter for his birthday, and that's where it all started in the beginning.
Yeah. And we got to talk about it because the movie, you said too, it kind of feels different. The vibe is different. It's got a different vibe, and it does. When we live in a time where everybody's trying to curate their own highlight reels these days, Roofman's like, nah, let's roll the security footage instead, the uncut version, the one you don't post. And that's what we're watching in this movie. And There's a certain kind of movie where you can almost smell something bad's about to come, like burnt toast.
Yeah.
And this movie just kind of marinates in that smell the whole time.
Yeah.
What you think?
Almost even, I mean, in addition to that, it's not just, oh, something bad. It's like, when is this all going to fall apart?
That's
him?
what it exactly.
He can't keep this up. This is going to fall apart. We know that he's going to be arrested at some point. So you're just kind of waiting for that. Like, what's going to be the thing that makes this all crumble on top of him?
Yeah.
He gets caught. Peter Dinklage playing the boss. Can I just say for a second how much I love Peter Dinklage? Aside from Game of Thrones, which freaks know is one of my favorite, or if not the favorite, my favorite movie show. But Peter Dinklage, I just love that man so much. He's so fantastic in everything that he does. And he's kind of the jerk boss,
yes.
right? And gets caught, comes in one night late, I guess, you know, to, as bosses and managers of Toys R Us may happen to do, they're like, I got to go into the store and grab something out of my office or something.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey is naked because he's been bathing in the bathroom, has all of his stuff like out drying in the middle of the store. So almost gets caught and ends up still hiding in his hiding spot for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
For like, and there's this like incident of the naked man in the Toys R Us. I don't know it's related to the guy who escaped from jail.
I wonder how many people are living in a store right now and we don't have a clue.
Oh, you know what I want to watch next? Is that documentary of the kids who lived in a mall?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to put that on the list, too.
That just reminded me of that.
Let me ask you something for real, though, because this is like a philosophical type question, but for the freaks out there as well. How many people are one bad day away from becoming somebody else entirely? Kind of like how he was. Or just the opposite of that. How many are one good decision away from changing everything? But we don't ever know that. We don't ever really know what's on that other...
Like, when we look at people maybe that are unhoused or in a clinic in rehabilitation for addiction, some of us have been through that.
Yeah.
But others of us look at that and go, oh, poor them, and oh, they're them, and I'm me, and I'll never be them. That kind of like, even subconsciously in our head, we're like, oh, I would never do that. I would never be in that position. I would never put myself there.
Yeah.
And we don't realize how close we are from being in that position. From addiction taking hold of us, and from something in our life shifting that's out of our control that makes us now without a home, without somewhere to live. We like to other people instead of, and this is kind of, again, like going back to the moral and ethical side of Roofman, of Jeffrey, of what he did. I just want to point out that while we can look at Jeffrey and say, I mean, all you had to do was go get a job and make money using those powerful skills you had. In the beginning, his friend Steve basically points it out and says, you have a superpower, man. You have a way of looking at the world that nobody else does. Use that. I don't think he was pushing him to a life of crime. I think that's where he went with it. But we like to judge that. We like to say, I would never.
But that's where I'm saying that one decision.
Yeah. But what if, and this is where I want to go back to, in studying in school, or actually when I was a teacher and I worked in a very low income area where a lot of transient students, immigrants coming in and out of the country, and also people who came from generational poverty were my students. And we were required to read A Framework for Understanding Poverty by Ruby K. Payne, PhD. I'm bringing this up because I want to highlight that in the beginning of this movie, the effort to say, okay, I have these skills, I could go make money with them, or I could use these skills and rob a Burger King and get that money. We can judge that and say, there's a lot of us that would judge that and say, well, that was wrong, like that was stupid, why would you do that? Why won't you just make your money the right way, whatever. Truthfully, you have to understand that generational poverty creates a culture of poverty in which people don't see any other way. Like, we can say we can see another way, but that may be because we were raised in a household that made money honestly.
Exactly.
Or had access to education, or had access to healthcare, or had access to many privileges,
any
right?
resource that you don't have is something that...
Yeah. It's our neural pathways limiting us to what we can do to solve a problem or make a need possible for us to be fulfilled. And so I want people to just be aware of that in watching this movie, that's what I pulled out of that story was, gosh, we can judge people all we want, but we don't know what their life is like, and we don't know the way their brain thinks, and we don't know what they have, how they've been raised or what they're used to. It's the same thing as you can see a driver on the road and they make a mistake, and you're like, you stupid idiot, why did you make that mistake? What if in that car, they're just learning to drive and they've never seen a roundabout before in their life?
Exactly.
So they're like, whoa, what's going on? Oh, I don't know. Oh, whoops. And they're trying to figure it out. You just judged them for making a mistake, but they've never been in that position before. And you're acting like you're superior to them because you know what to do in that situation.
You don't know somebody's story.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
Generationally, ancestrally.
Unless you believe in
right?
simulation theory, everybody is the main character in their own life. You got to think about that. They've got their own set of problems just like you do.
Yeah.
So that person driving that car, that's crazy to me when you think about it like that. But then again, I do believe in simulation theory. So we'll get to that. That's going to be a whole other conversation for us one day.
Well, we could get experiences.
I was probably walking around Hollywood Boulevard, and I was just like, bro, just make one good choice. Just one. I'm not asking for a full life overhaul, just a solid Tuesday. Like, that's what I was looking for every once in a while.
Yeah.
But no, we don't get
get that.
We don't get that, though. You don't really get that opportunity to do that in the moment. I think that the biggest villain of this movie is loneliness. Does not announce itself. It just sits there like an empty chair that nobody talks about. And I think that is the big villain arc here.
Really, because the genuine connection that Jeffrey's looking for when he goes to church.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes to church. I mean, obviously, I think he has a crush on the girl who works at Toys R Us, so he's going to where her church is, right? Wants to kind of impress her, maybe. But I don't know if that was his initial motivation.
No, I don't
think
so.
When he started going to church and he was like, oh, these people don't recognize me. This might be okay. I might be able to, stay here. And he starts, being real charming, and he goes to the singles thing, and it's all women. I loved that scene.
Yeah.
But then he starts flirting with everybody. He's like, I'm so lucky I get to hang out with all you beautiful ladies, and I'm looking for the second Mrs. whatever his made-up last name was. He's so charming and so lovely, and you genuinely think he's not... I don't think he's being charming just to get away with something.
It's genuine.
He was lonely.
Yeah.
And I think when he kind of integrates himself into Lee's family with her girls, he misses his kids.
Yep.
He can't see them anymore. He's not allowed. In prison or on the run, he can't contact them. And he's lonely. So I think you're right. I think that's the underlying theme going on.
What's your final thoughts on the Roof Man?
Just be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind and understanding to people, even if you don't understand why they do the things they do. Or you can completely disagree with the things they do and say, that was wrong, point blank, just final stand, wrong is wrong. But as a person, not every situation is exactly the same. The same person committing these crimes, might have had really a very different story that is malicious and evil, and Jeffrey's story, not so much.
Yeah. I
very
like this.
nuanced.
I really like this movie. It's on a couple different streaming services, I noticed. Which one did you
People
check it
must
out
really
on?
like
I think
it.
I watched it on
Cool.
Peacock or Paramount. I watched it on Paramount.
I don't even remember, actually.
Or Prime, Amazon. We're naming them all off.
I think it was Prime.
Wherever you can stream it, go watch this movie. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to warn you, if you're going to watch it, you're either going to love it or you're going to be like, Blane, Coco, why'd you make
Why'd
me
you pick
watch
this movie?
emotional anxiety for 2 hours? There's no middle ground in this movie, really.
Yeah, but it's really real. And, I mean, Kirsten Dunst in her
Yeah.
prime, she's done so many amazing things. And I love her for being, I think she's a little older than me, but she shows her natural self I'm being. I don't want to say aging because, like, aren't we all?
Yeah.
I don't want there to be a stigma about, like, oh, good for her, she's older and she's still working in Hollywood. Meh. No, of course she is. But I love that she showed, like, this is a single mom living in an apartment, working at Toys R Us. This is what that would be like. This is this person, this character, fully and raw and everything that she is. Love that.
Incredible movie. The Roof Man. I will tell you, I was a little disappointed because I didn't look at what this movie was about. And I didn't watch the trailer. So I see The Roof Man and I'm thinking, oh, I'm about to see a superhero movie where I don't know what was going to happen. I don't know how you turn into the Roof Man, some nuclear roof reactor or something.
Maybe he is.
But this movie is incredible.
On a deeper level, he's a superhero.
Do you know that today is Friday?
Yep.
So before we get out of here, I think we got to do Freaky Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to tell the freaks out there, we got to go through some of their comments.
Okay.
And I got one right here.
Lay it on me.
I got one right here. And this was about Robin Williams toys. You got the DVD now.
I got it now. We're watching it on Sunday.
You guys got to go check out that episode. That one got a lot of hits.
It's my favorite.
At Crypto Sporodium 138 says, they had VR in the late 90s. The rigs cost thousands of dollars. There was a cyber cafe in my local mall that had 2 of them. You could rent them. This was ahead of its time because we were talking about VR and how they had it in the movie. And you know what? I did start thinking about it. Nintendo had a Virtual Boy VR, this big giant. They did have one back in the 90s, somewhere in there. So it was, sure, it was ahead of its time. And
I haven't tried it yet. I've never tried VR.
Oh my God. I had a crazy job.
Should we have me try it and we'll just film that?
I worked for Meta. And I was working on that now failed, defunct project, the Metaverse. I was in there. And that's what I did every day. I was working in some prototype gear.
Whoa.
And that VR, it's insane.
Did it stick up your nose?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not this one.
Those who watch toys will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, not this one. We didn't put it up our nose.
Okay.
At Lil Ruby, 16, says, and this was about our physical media versus Mandela Effect. Fruit of the Loom changed name to get away from lawsuing for damages and such, and remove the horn from their logo.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that claim it wasn't there
I
at all.
don't think it was ever there. I think that's a Mandela Effect. So we're gonna have to look into that. And if you haven't noticed the Fruit of the Loom logo, go look into that and go down that rabbit hole.
I do feel like maybe something else in the same time period did have a cornucopia thing, but I think we're in our brains putting them together.
It's got to be something. It's got to be something. I saw a weird Mandela Effect video. Brand new one just came out this week. And it was about Nostradamus. Remember Nostradamus?
Yeah.
We heard about Nostradamus.
Of course.
All our lives growing up.
Yeah.
And there was always a term that the tabloids or whatever was writing about. There was always a word that went with it.
Right.
What was that word? Exactly. You don't know. And you can come up with any word. You could come up with any name right now, any word, predictor, prognosticator, all these things, and it's not going to scratch that itch that there's a word missing.
You've ruined my day.
There's a word missing.
Nostradamus prophecy?
Does it scratch the itch? See?
You tell me.
Go look into that one.
I
Tell me,
wanna know.
somebody millennial aged, let's just say, because we heard about it in the 90s. All growing up.
It was always on the tabloids.
Everywhere. And there's a word that went with
It'd
it.
be like a volcano eruption, and they'd be like, Nostradamus predicted.
But it was something Nostradamus. It was somebody. There was a word that went with it, and I'm telling you, come up with any word right now, and it's not going to scratch the itch of what the word actually was.
Interesting. Okay.
Crazy, right? Got your mind broken. Got your mind.
I will pretend to listen to what you're saying next, and while I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, you're gonna love this one. This was on the F1 versus NASCAR.
Yep.
She told the truth. NASCAR does in fact not live up to IndyCar.
Oh.
And that is
Someone agreed with me.
at the Locosi.
Listen, I got nothing against NASCAR, and I love the people who love NASCAR. It's all fine. I mean, opinions are just opinions, right? Like, who cares? But it's just not for me.
Yeah. You got people agreeing.
In my view, in my very limited view, and my husband would disagree with me probably because he's a car guy, but I'm like, they're just cars.
Just cars. Just cars.
Indy cars are like race cars. They're like rocket ships with fins on the back, and then NASCAR is just like
drive fast and turn left is what they say. They say drive fast and turn left. That's all you do in NASCAR.
No, that's not all it is, you guys. Don't come at me.
Oh, they'll come at you.
I'm being ignorant here. I
thought they would come at you harder than this, but they've been siding with you at this point. So if there's NASCAR people out there that argue this, we need to hear it. And if somebody can give us that word for what Nostradamus, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm telling you, can't. I've tried. I feel like it starts with a P, and then I feel like it starts with something. You go all over the place, but you can't piece it together in your head, right?
Oracle.
Doesn't work. Not it. This is Parallel Frequencies. I'm just Blane. This is Coco. You are the freaks, and we will see you on the other side.